What's going on, guys? Meteorologist Jonathan Kegges back with you on a Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. It's Tuesday. That means it's time to play a little bit of trivia as well. There's where we stand in terms of the temperature. It's pretty nice outside. We do have some colder air coming back down the pipeline. As we get into early next week, it's going to get really warm first. I'm talking record warmth potential. Thursday, especially Friday and Saturday across the state of Florida. You see that temperature anomaly right there. We are going to break that part of the forecast down coming up. And then after the first break, so that's at about 9:38 in about 6 minutes, we're going to get into our trivia question, and then we'll have the answer on the other side of that break. So post in the comments where you're tuning in from. It's, of course, all about this wild up and down stretch that we've gotten ourselves into. So I want to show you this. I want to start this off by showing you the temperature anomaly graphic because this is going to tell the story. Anywhere you see the orange and yellow, that is above normal temperatures. Anywhere you see the blue and purple, that is way below normal temperatures. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take out the dabber and we're going to mark a bunch of spots, different spots through Florida and take the temperature basically. And what we're looking at here is the amount of what's going on in Pinellas County. Thanks for tuning in Pinellas. Good to see you. Hey, Kimberly. Hope you're doing well in Putnam County. Hope you're doing well. And Melissa, thanks for being here tonight. So this is what we're talking about on Friday, anywhere from 5 to 15 degrees above normal. Again, take your average temperature and then add that. For example, ours is in the Orlando area is into the mid-70s. Then watch it surge as we get into Saturday. And then this is what happens. So this is the big time cold that returns to the area as we get into, this is going to be really from Monday into Tuesday and then likely bleeding into Wednesday. So it's going to be a short fused little blast of cold. It is not going to be as intense as the one that we dealt with, what was that, 2 weeks ago now, where we had the crazy freeze. So that's at least some positive there. I don't think we're going to have the widespread issues that we saw. It's all because of the jet stream. So this is a pretty wild jet stream pattern, and all of this pink and blue, that's where the jet stream is, and we're going to relate that back to where we stand in Florida. If you're just joining us, post in the comments where you're tuning in from. We are talking about the big warm-up followed by the crazy but short-lived cool-down coming our way as we get into early next work week. Okay, so let's play this out. I'm going to bust out my telestrator because that's how I roll here. If you're just joining us for the first time and finding us, we're here every night, by the way, at 9:30. So here is the dip in the jet stream. Big stuff going on out west. We're going to take a look at that in a little bit as well. A lot of snow going to the Sierra, wildfire, crazy wind-driven crashes going out there with the big rigs. Big storm system out there. There's also a little bit of the chill hanging on into the northeast. Note, though, we have, let me get rid of all the lines and zoom in. This is what we have going on. There's this big chunk of high pressure building on the Pacific side of Mexico. And that is kind of forcing up all of this warmth back into the southern tier of the country. That includes us in Florida. Okay, but watch what happens. We're going to put this bad boy into motion. It builds even further. There's Friday. So now we're talking about that high pressure really encompassing a lot of the Caribbean, the Gulf, southeast corner of the United States. But look up there. X marks the spot. Well, that's supposed to be an X. All right, I can't draw tonight. That is supposed to be an X. We're going to forget about it after that. But that is the trough. That is the dip in the jet stream that then changes everything as it swings on by. There's Sunday into Monday. And now we have this big elongated pattern that brings the colder air back down into the east after a short-lived break. If you were watching the show, today's Tuesday, if you're watching Monday, I showed you the official outlook. And I told you last night that I thought that there should be some blue on it. And lo and behold, tonight we have some blue, indicating below normal temperatures for the upcoming 6 to 10 day period. So There it is right there. Yeah, I do think it's cold enough for a freeze, Kimberly. I think especially where you are, I do think a freeze is coming. I'll bring out my frost and freeze graphic. I think I have that in here to kind of show you. I'll load that up during the break. I'm going to load that up during the break. It's I've got to get to the trivia question and the break, but I'll load up the freeze model to show you exactly who has the best opportunity for a frost and freeze as we roll forward on, that's going to be really Tuesday morning and then potentially again on Wednesday morning. So it might be, I think for some of us in Florida, especially the northern half, this is going to be another protect your plants kind of day, kind of night. I don't think, though, it is a pipe issue like what we had the last time. Okay, guys, as we head to break, it is Tuesday. That means we are going to play some trivia, and then we're going to get into some of the numbers when it comes to how cold we get on Tuesday, and then that freeze potential on the other side of this break. So here we go. You ready for the question? Since winter is coming back, I had to ask a winter question. Now, we obviously don't get a lot of snow in Florida, although we have seen flakes multiple times this year. So on average, 1 inch of rain equals how many inches of snow? Is it A, 1 inch? Is it B, 100 inches? Is it C, 30 inches? Or is it D, 10 inches? I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. Post in the comments where you're tuning in from. Post in the comments what you think the answer is. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Alrighty, guys, a lot of good answers in the chat. Okay, so when it comes to this question, gosh, I sound like Maury Povich. When it comes to this question that I asked in trivia, on average, 1 inch of rain equals how many inches of snow? Is it A, 1 inch, B, 100, is it C, 30, or is it D, 10? So this answer might surprise you, but the answer is D, 10. So on average, 1 inch of liquid equals 10 inches of snow. Now, there's a lot of nuances, and this is what makes forecasting snow so challenging and fun, in my opinion. It is, you have to look at the snow ratio as well as to where the ice crystals are actually being made in the atmosphere above the ground. We're going to get into some of those nuances in just 1 second. But when you're looking at it, if it is colder than that, then you could be talking about 1 inch of rain equals 20 inches of snow. So 1 inch of liquid equivalent. And then if it's really, really warm, so a lot of times in the South, if there's an inch of liquid in the forecast, it's probably going to be closer to maybe 5 to 6 to 8 to 1 ratio. So you have 1 inch of rain, but then you only get you get half of that. You get 6 inches of snow. So that would be the deal there. And it changes again with the temperature profile in the atmosphere, where the crystals are actually getting going. All right, so we're going to take a look at this. Here's an example for a 10 to 1 snow ratio. Again, the middle there is the rain gauge. That's the liquid equivalent. So that would be if it were raining. You see it fill up a little bit in the rain gauge to a half inch. So you're talking about a half inch of liquid. So we're forecasting a half inch, 10 to 1 snow ratio. You get 5 inches. Where we would have a half inch of rain in Florida, you would get 5 inches of rain, 10 to 1 ratio. So again, another example here, you increase again the rain. Now we're talking an inch liquid equivalent. So then there's your 10 inches of snow. But there is a world like one of the snowstorms a couple of weeks ago when it was really frigid across the Great Lakes area. The snow ratios were like 15 to 18 to 1. So you had an inch of liquid equivalent. You got about 18 inches of snow out of that inch of liquid. So it's really, really cool. So there you go, a half inch of liquid now with a 20 to 1 ratio because it is really, really cold outside. Now we need half as much liquid to get 10 inches of snow. And then just to kind of beat this dead horse, there you go, getting 1 inch of liquid with a 20 to 1 ratio, obviously going to give you 20 inches of snow. So it's really cool. And again, that is part of the forecasting nuance, the challenge, and what makes it really fun to forecast snow. Again, here's another example. The water equivalent, 0.23 inches is forecast. 10 to 1 ratio, you get 3.2 inches of snow. So no snow coming with this round of cold. I hope you guys found that interesting. This stuff fascinates me. But here is where we're looking at the frost and freeze potential for Tuesday morning. This is for next Tuesday morning, so a week from where we're talking about right now. In that deep dark purple there, that is the freeze potential. So pretty much right up and down I-75, northwest of I-4, and then inland of I-95. So again, certainly not as widespread or as impactful. You don't see any of the blue showing up on the map. That would indicate air temperatures colder than 28 degrees. That's the hard freeze. That's when real problems start. We have none of that this time. So it's a little short-lived. There you go again with the forecast, that deep dark purple. So Gainesville, Ocala, Denellen, probably some patchy spots in Lake County as well. The grid not as widespread to be able to pick that up in Lake County. I would imagine we can flirt with 32 degrees. And then that light pink color, pending the wind. If it's windy, we're not going to get frost. We need clear skies, calm winds for that to happen. But again, for the freeze, we're kind of held north of Tampa to Ocala, west of Jacksonville, including Tallahassee, and including back toward Mobile, Pensacola, in that area. Now, to put some numbers with this, this is going to be Tuesday morning. certainly not as cold, not even close to where we saw before. So cold, but not as cold, although it might feel miserable after being in the upper 80s this weekend, especially on Saturday. 35 in Pensacola, 34 degrees in Tallahassee, 40 in Orlando. These might trend down a little bit. This is the GFS model for Tuesday morning. Kimberly brings up a really, really good point. I forgot to mention this part. She's asking, is it fluffy or fat? It doesn't have anything to do with the size of the flakes, but that 20-to-1 ratio, that is your good powder. So the skiers like the high ratio snow. That is the good powder. Bad for making snowballs, good for sledding and skiing. When you get 10-to-1, 9-to-1, 8-to-1, that real wet stuff with the warmer temperatures, that is the good snowball making snow. There is something that we look for when you're forecasting snow called the dendritic growth zone. Now you know the real pretty snowflakes that have 6 points on them that you kind of, as a kid or as an adult with your kids, you kind of cut the paper and you get the real pretty snowflakes. That's called a dendrite. So there's a spot in the atmosphere where those crystals are made, and you want the lift in the atmosphere to be where those dendrites are being made. Then we get something known as clumping dendrites, and then that's what those big pancake-looking snowflakes come down, because you have a bunch of those crystals pancake together, and you get the real big fat stuff coming down. Love the snow. Alrighty, guys. Post in the comments where you're tuning in from. If you have any questions, I have to get this second break in. I'll see you in 3 minutes. Yeah, I think ZZCO, I think just barely skirting the frost in St. Petersburg. I think you have the shot based on the wind speed. If the winds are calm, you'll be able to get into that frosty area. Maybe. I think that might be a little further on to the inland areas, though. Again, I don't think this one is as intense for sure. All that stuff. Hey, I wanted to show you what's going on out west. Big, crazy snowstorm going on. Parts of the Sierra Nevada mountains. That was redundant. The Sierra Nevada, right through there where you see all that blue. They have real fat snowflakes going on right now. That is where they could pick up to 8 feet of snow. 8 feet of snow, not inches. 8 feet. Gotcha. Okay, see, I tried. So just some crazy stuff going on. This happens on occasion when they get these big systems riding down the coastline to just pump in atmospheric moisture, working through from west to east. The temperature should be in the upper 30s on Tuesday morning, Melissa. But just some crazy stuff out there. So they are seeing very efficient snowfall rates, probably without looking, I would imagine they'd be pushing like 12-to-1 ratios. There's another storm system developing up here. It's just wild what's going on across the country, and we're relatively quiet right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see here. The Arctic air is nuts this year. It's been a long time since there has been a winter like this in the East, for sure. Like, no question. And that includes Florida. I mean, we keep on saying 2010. It's been that long, 16 years since we had a winter that could rival this one. And there it is. We're going to focus more on the national picture tomorrow. Yes, I think that model might be a little warm, especially for areas inland. Orlando might be right on. It might be right around 40, maybe 39. It'll probably be somewhere in the upper 30s and lower 40s. For you, maybe more like the mid 30s. So when I say trending down, I mean the temperature might be trending down a little bit. So it might be colder than what I showed you on the screen there with that. So I hope that answers that question. Yeah, and it had been really warm in the west. So coldest air in a while, but it has been very warm out there. That's one of the reasons why it's been so cold over here, because the pattern has been locked in to keep them warm and the cold kind of trickling in, really blasting in out of Canada and through the Arctic, and then right on down the eastern side of the country. Alrighty, guys, I have to get ready for News 6 at 10 o'clock. If you're watching on YouTube, same channel, different thumbnail. I'll be on in a couple of minutes. If you're watching on News 6 Plus, don't go anywhere. Keep it right here. We're going to talk about this near record warmth coming this weekend, Friday into Saturday. And then the big chill that we highlighted a lot in today's show. We're going to have an update on that tomorrow. And then we're going to take a look more about this national picture, because it is wild what's going on in the upper Midwest and in the West with these kind of twin storms that are rolling through the country. Alrighty, guys, I will catch you guys tomorrow night. If you found us for the first time, we cover the entire state of Florida and sometimes beyond, but we really give you what you need to know in the state of Florida. If you found this live stream enjoyable, and we play trivia every Tuesday night, which we did tonight. If you found this live stream enjoyable, I love getting your weather reports from around the great state of Florida. Consider hitting that subscribe button and coming back every night, Monday through Friday at 9:30. I will catch you guys right back in this chair with another cup of coffee. Ooh, we have some big storm reports coming in. I've shown you this before. Wild stuff. Fresno's getting nailed. Big time winds in Texas out ahead of this storm. We're going to talk much more about that storm tomorrow night at 9:30. I'll see you guys then. Have a great evening. Be safe.